That left shift, they're going really tight to the wind, and it's preferred to reaching it.
25 seconds.
We can come up a bit if you want, Pete.
Yeah, they've got to get up to pace.
The Kiwis going to get a nice wide right start here, PJ, because the Italians are very tight on the lay line to the pin.
Yeah.
No.
Local line, the local line. So that's Kiko calling that down the line. So a nice right start. We'll get Chris Steele to explain that in plain English. But the point is that Team New Zealand's not going to be necessarily living on the hip as they come up to the line.
Kiwis are pretty nice on their turn up here, PJ, and the Italians were slightly slow to do that. But what we're seeing right now is the Italian boat putting a high mode on straight away, and the Kiwis aren't going to be able to live there. So Emirates Team New Zealand tacking off to the right-hand side. And the Italians will extend out to the left here.
The early advantage goes to Luna Rossa.
The early advantage for Luna Rossa there, but I think you can call that an even start. You know, the Kiwis are able to tack away early, and they're sailing their mode now. You know, same as the Italians. So it'll be interesting to see when the two boats come back together. The Kiwis on starboard, if they can make that advantage pay, or if Luna Rossa has found a little bit of speed.
Yeah, I agree. And then the other thing that's going to come into play here is which side of the race course is facing.
Italians just tacking right in front of the Kiwis to leave them around that right turn. Yeah, it's a really safe move. Just, you know you're going to leave them around the mark and just pushes your lead further down the track.
Gate 1, Luna Rossa leading through the gate. The clock is ticking against Emirates Team New Zealand now.
You can hear the voice of Glenn Ashby and Peter Burling saying early jibe, so they're going to go around this top mark and go straight into a jibe to try and get back down to this left-hand side pressure.
16-second advantage to Luna Rossa through gate 1 ahead of Emirates.
We're talking a lot about the jibs. That's the sail that's on the front of the boat, the small one.
Team New Zealand now down to 30 metres. They really are closing. Really closing. They're on separate jibes now.
It's going to get really light down the bottom here, PJ, and there's going to be some big holes on the course. The Kiwis have jibed away, but they're actually sailing a negative VMG right now. They've had a really bad jibe, and they're sailing back through a hole, so this is a huge moment in this race. They're off the foil, they're stuck in the water, and the Italians are just going all the way out to the other side of the course.
Is that wind shadow that we had in the start the other day, or what the hell happened there? They've come off the foils. Team New Zealand is left wallowing in the water. They're not up on their foils. They look like a beach whale. Meanwhile, Luna Rossa has taken off on the foils, and they are really moving.
And there we see the Kiwis finally have gotten the boat out of the water and moving again, and they're up to 30 knots going downwind, but they're 2,400 meters behind you. This is a massive lead.
2,400 meters, wow. Meanwhile, Luna Rossa.
And that 45 minutes is about twice the length of your average race. You know, we saw the race before today going at about 25 minutes, so it's a pretty generous buffer, but if these boats are coming off the foils consistently, that's when it really starts to come into play.
Well, right as we say that, PJ, the Italian boats come off the foil and the tag.
I think they have too. I was about to say, have you noticed how they're taking such a wide angle, so not to stay up on the foil, but it hasn't happened.
This next tack, and we could see a lead change straight away.
Emirates Team New Zealand now within 250 metres. Richard Gladwell, thanks for the updates. Appreciate it. Give us more if you can. Emirates Team New Zealand now going through the tack. They're staying on the foil, and they're in 150 metres behind. They're getting closer and closer.
And they made it stick, PJ. They're up on the foil still, so
that was a really critical mover for Team New Zealand there. And like that last tack towards the mark was where the Italians came off. And the fact that the Kiwis were able to stick it, and they gave themselves plenty of space, but they're just about to go around the mark now. And
Chris and Trevor, this is Team New Zealand. The hull is virtually, the skeg has just been in the water a lot. Are they able to get through and get through? There's high tension on what Team New Zealand can do. Still Luna Rossa can't do it. And Emirates Team New Zealand is going through the gate.
PJ, they're having to go high mode to get round the mark. Can they stay on the foil here? 22 knots they have. They've gone round. They're staying on the foil. This is where the lead could change very quickly. Luna Rossa's doing 15 knots. They're close to getting back up on the foils. The Kiwis are going to go straight into a jibe. The Italians are going to go over the boundary. They're going to get another penalty.
But Team New Zealand's in front. After being over 2,000 metres behind, they're in front.
And you see the angles these boats are going downwind. You know, the Italians aren't foiling, and they're trying to just get the boat up and on the foils, and they're basically just going straight back and forth across the racetrack. And you see the New Zealanders, even when they go through the maneuvers, they're on the foils in the jibe, but they're having to go so much distance across the track just to keep the boat on the foils as well.
And Team New Zealand is coming back into the centre of the course. When I see this incident, I think of Sir Tom Clark, no longer with us, but a huge man in New Zealand sport and New Zealand yachting, particularly the former chairman of the Sorrento. Is he going okay now?
Yeah. That's the good result, boys. Yeah. Now, Luna Rossa here has taken a penalty. They're gone out of the foils. They're taking a penalty for sailing outside the boundary.
Italy, at the moment you're on a double penalty. You need to get back in the course.
By drive in two,
Yeah.
one, and bottom on. See soft out of this?
Yeah. It's interesting because it's obviously a professional foul. As I said, at the moment on our graphics, we're just sort of looking for the numbers of how much breeze there is at the top, but it's still sort of sitting around that 8 knots of wind speed, which is, here they go, right on the crossover.
Here they go through the tack. Richard Clavel said the hole is gone now.
They've stuck the tack nicely, and they're on that final approach into the finish now.
Real fellas. Here, are you, just in case? I'm pretty sure this is it.
They're approaching it. They've got a lead of 1,800 metres. They're inside the final 200 metres. And Emirates Team New Zealand is going to pull off a stunning victory. Coming from behind. And they're going through the line, the shortened course down to 5 legs. And Emirates Team New Zealand has done it on this bizarre, surreal day.
Two boats are around up the hole. Yep, 2-1 Auckland.
They have won race 8, and that takes the scoreline to Emirates Team New Zealand 5, Luna Rossa 3.
Emotion on the New Zealand boat. For this could be the first time we've seen it all week. You know, I think they feel like they're really escaping today. You know, that last race is a nail biter. I think they know it.
Well, Trevor, when you're behind by 2,500 metres or at gate 3, Luna Rossa was leading Emirates Team New Zealand by 4 minutes 27 seconds. Let me say that again. Nearly 4.5 minutes, 4:27. And yet at the next mark, gate 4, Emirates Team New Zealand led by 4 minutes and 6 seconds.
Snakes and ladders out there, isn't it?